Okay, hello. Welcome to Minecraft. This is Minecraft. Playing Minecraft. I'm in my nice little house. Um, it actually looks really good right now in my brain. Yeah, this is my house. Going for a little cottage theme. Then I have like some gardens and such. I'm gonna do a whole walkthrough of everything. You can see the castle over there. But I need to do a proper introduction. So let's go back inside. That was a little teaser. Okay, we'll go back out there. I was just getting you. I was just getting you a little worked up, and then and then we'll explain what's going on, and then we will um take you to completion. I'm sorry. Okay, so I started this world probably a month ago, over a month ago. I have 7 days, 6.7, 6.6 days of world being open. Time played. Okay, 5.3 days. That's a considerable amount of hours played, I think. It's not crazy. It's just, you know, I wanted to start getting into Minecraft again, and um there was a server I used to play on that I kind of enjoyed, but they used a lot of like commands, and all the worlds were separate in a way that I didn't really like. Like you had to go to a resource world to gather resources. I like my world being all interconnected, like a FromSoft game, rather than just a um, an online resource gathering simulator. I want it to be a little lived in. Even though I have kind of made this game a simulator with mods, but we'll get to that. Um, Started this world, been working on this world. That is that. It's fun, it's cool, it's coming together pretty well, I think. Wanted to show it off a little bit. So I'm like, hey, I'll fire up OBS. I've been thinking about this for a while, making a video about this. Just haven't really had the motivation. You know, you have your fears, you have your anxieties. You're like, hey, what um, if I make this video and then it gets like 2 views and I'm like depressed about it? Because I was like, oh, I was kind of excited about this and nobody seems to give a shit. But it's like, who cares? You can put it out there. You can throw this out there. You can fucking toss it at the YouTube platform. See what happens. It's not gonna hurt anything. Um, yeah, I kind of got off the rails there for a second. Let's keep talking about Minecraft. So I have some mods, and if we click this mods button, we can see a little bit what's going on. This is just an API. Digus Maximus lets you dig fast, basically. I could show that off maybe a little bit later. This seems to be some sort of error. I have some inventory management mods. I'll go a little quicker. I have some optimization mods. I have, inventory management, fog mod, and a minimap mod. So with the inventory management, I can sort with just like clicking my middle mouse. I can sort my inventory. So if I like toss this shit in randomly, let's say, and jumble it up, I can sort it. And it's nice. It's got some options for like how you want the items to be sorted through like name or creative mode categories or whatever. So that's nice. And then I also have this like a dump button where if there are matching items in a chest, I can click this move matching items button and it'll move it. So if I put the scaffolding in here, it'll move the scaffolding, etc. You get it. And then there's an enhanced version of this, which is a different mod with this button right here where So if I like put some like netherrack, some stone, gold ingots, and then I dump, it'll match all those items into the chest, and it'll label the color code, which inventory slot went into which chest, and it's very nice. You can kind of see what's going on, and then yeah, then I can sort it. It's all nice and pretty. I don't really need these banners. I'll just throw them in here. So yeah, makes the game a little easier in terms of, you know, I have all these large chests just filled with a bunch of items. You know, there's a lot of items in this game, and we can see how many items are on the game these days. It's kind of a lot, so it helps out. Yeah. So what was the other mods? I forget. Oh, there's a fog. There's a fog mod that's kind of cool. It lets you kind of I'll sleep real quick. Lets you set fog settings, believe it or not. And I feel like fog has changed a lot since like the beta days, and I kind of preferred how fog used to look. It was a lot more pronounced back in the day, I think. And now the fog is almost, you can't even really see it without modifying it the way I have. But this kind of helps with having a lower render distance, it not seeming so weird. Because stuff isn't really popping in. You can see as we approach this tree line, it's kind of just fading in and out rather than just popping in and out. And it kind of just makes it a little nicer, I think. There's some shaders that kind of, you know, add some fog type things, but I don't like playing with shaders recently. I have a high refresh rate monitor, and I like just having a nice, smooth situation. You see, I'm going like 110, 120 FPS, which isn't a great amount, but it's a lot. It's enough. And I need gunpowder, so I'm killing this creeper. So yeah, that covers mods, I think. I think there was another thing I was going to talk about. Oh, yes. Let's see. Let's see if we can find like okay, the sugar cane will work, I guess. So Deus Maximus will allow you to bind a key to have like a quick mine option, and this will work with any block. So if I hold my alt key, which is what I've bound, and I break a block, it'll block all the matching blocks that are near it. And some people might consider this a bit of a cheat, but my opinion is that if I'm just going to stand there and do nothing but dig ore for, you know, 20 seconds, and dig out an ore vein in 20 seconds, let's say, whereas I can just instantly mine that ore vein and continue my trek through the cave, I'd rather just save that time that's not really doing anything fun and spend more time exploring and like enjoying the world or whatever, you know? Doesn't that make sense, horse? Yeah. So there's a village over here. The fog does look a little crazy, but it's kind of cool. I'm just trying to lean. I'm trying not to go for, you know, hyper realistic lighting and you know, super ultra realistic graphics. I'm trying to, you know, go back to, you know, the beta days where um the game just kind of had a look that wasn't, it was very unique, and it just kind of felt like a different world. And I feel like shaders and stuff like that just kind of bring me out of that like a Minecraft world in a way. But I'll stop preaching about shaders and let's go back to my house. I do like shaders. It's just I tried playing without them, and I found that I preferred that, so I'm sticking to that. Alright, so we're home. So yeah, let's start from the outside over here, I guess, and work our way across, because that's kind of how this progressed. I'm just gonna walk through all my stuff, tell you a little bit about it. If you don't think it's interesting, watch something else, I guess. I don't really care what you do with your life. But this building here is where I have all of my villagers prisoner. I do allow them to sleep though, which is nice, I think. Although the beds were mostly put in here so they would have intercourse and produce more children for me to enslave. Ooh, I could have used kinder words, I guess, for that explanation, but that's what this game makes me feel like. I feel like I'm an immoral, inhumane person when I deal with the villager systems in this game. But it's kind of what you have to do if you want to make the system effective. Let's say this guy knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, I basically just wanted to get mending, and it kind of got out of hand. I did get mending though, and I had plans to like make them a proper village within my like property so that I could like still protect them, make sure it's walled in and lit up, so they didn't get killed by zombies and such. But that just seems like a lot of work, and I have other projects I'm working on, so they're just kind of in here living their lives as best as they can. And one day maybe they will move out into a nice village where they can be a little more free. Sorry if me hitting the pop filter made a horrible noise. My editing software doesn't work, so I can't really edit that out. So I'm not going to, but I'm sorry. So yeah, I tried launching DaVinci Resolve, which I've been using. It just did not detect my GPU. I think I need to update the drivers, but when I updated my GPU, it started stuttering my games. My games were stuttering. So I rolled back the driver and it was fine. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But maybe they fixed that and I need to get a newer version. We'll see. This is my lighthouse. It's a little bit it looks a bit like a willy or a dong or a, one of those. It's just a little bit too plain and ordinary and then has that shape and it just doesn't really look very good. And I don't really know what to do about it. I haven't really touched the side of the estate in some time. I just haven't really had any ideas as to what to do. I do want to pretty much just rebuild a lighthouse, maybe more in this like castle style tower design. I built this pretty early on upon my return to Minecraft. I hadn't really warmed up to my building potential yet. I was still just feeling things out, and that one was not a W. It was an L. I'm going to take a sip. I don't want to pause the recording. I'm just going to sit here in silence. Sipping on a White Claw right now, lemon flavored. It's quite nice. Okay, so if you look on the map, you can see I have this like nice little rectangle shape going on, and most of my stuff is contained within this rectangle. And the rectangle is this wall that is 2 blocks or 1 block and a slab high, and that's just to keep out monsters. I built this pretty early on in the run. I guess it's not a roguelike game. It's not really a run, it's just living pretty early on in the world, and yeah, it's kept monsters out. It's worked pretty well. I'm trying to think about what to do because I'm expanding, obviously, as you can see with this huge structure not within the wall. But I kind of just think I will slowly tear it down as I build out, and then just build a more natural. I'll probably build a bigger like a medieval like anti siege wall, like you know what I mean, like a tall wall. Yeah. So yeah, I'll overhaul the wall as we go. But that's kind of been where I have been containing my property to, is within the wall, and then I have some other like the villagers and such out here. Also, I forgot to mention this is like sort of a dock where I can launch my boats out of, which you probably saw that. I just didn't really address it. Yeah, this video's falling apart. I'm all over the place. That's fine. That's just how I operate, okay? So, yeah, then we had this nice little fountain area with all these pink, we got peonies, we got pink tulips. That was my sugarcane farm going off. An automatic sugarcane farm. This is the library. We got some orange terracotta, some brick. Looks pretty good. Nice little like a bush feature here. This is the librarian. The only villager I still have not in prison. Okay, so a little bit about the villager situation that I didn't really mention was I initially put him in here. Oh, there's another villager. I forgot about this guy. I initially brought the villagers over from that village over there into my, you know, my stone wall that I talked about. But they kept, you know, falling into, they were falling into holes of water and drowning. They were falling into caves that I didn't know had surface holes on the ground in my lawn, that they were falling into these caves and getting killed. I had a villager go into the nether portal, so I had to put gates on top of the nether portal, which I guess I don't need those anymore, but I guess it would keep baddies out. Not like thoughts, like monsters from the nether. I wish baddies would come out of that portal, but unfortunately, it's just the monsters. I'm gonna sleep. Minecraft girlfriend comes out of nether portal. Ow. I didn't really show off my house. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about out here? I need to re-record this video and be a little more structured, I think. But maybe people will find this more interesting and we'll try to piece it together like a David Lynch film. Like, what does this mean? What does this mean? I don't know. Well, on a minute 3, 7 seconds, she said, oak log. So that means that the azalea tree position on that y-axis, you know what I mean? Like, just trying to like make sense out of all of it. So, yeah. Maybe I'll keep recording. Okay, where do we go now? So I have these sheep in here. I shear them. There's some chickens in here too. The azalea trees. That's nice geometric sort of pattern, which is quite nice. I just like fenced these up and then put moss blocks down and bone meal them basically. I think it looks pretty cool. I have a little nether wart farm. It's not a very profitable farm in terms of trade or anything, but it's enough. It's well more than enough for my potion needs. So it works out, and then I can sell the extras to the cleric in the prison. I gotta stop saying that I'm imprisoning them. We saw the nether portal briefly. It's just another portal. This is the beacon. Got haste 2 on here. I don't know. Maybe I should put jump on it or something for building. Because I don't know how helpful haste 2 is with an efficiency 4 pick. And I don't really need to excavate anything. But I got it on haste right now. This is my first farm. I have a bigger sort of mega farm situation out there that I'm probably going to get rid of at some point. But I like this little like, so all of these little patches are 4x4, and then they have these like trapdoor water gutters to hydrate the soil. And I just like how it's not the most efficient layout by any means, but I just think it looks nice and tidy. And with the potatoes fully grown, they have this nice like a blooming flowery appearance that is quite nice. So yeah, then this is the side of the house. Looks kind of cool. Behind the house though is some sunflowers. I did like this because it kind of reminds me of my home when I was like in kindergarten. You had this like sort of like, you know, like personal farm out in the backyard that had sunflowers. It had, we grew strawberries. You know, just grew random crap because we could. And yeah, the main thing I remember from that is the sunflowers. And they're kind of lined up like this. I don't know if they were in rows like this, but I don't know. I thought it'd be kind of pretty to have like a little sunflower farm, even though there's really no reason to have one. But it's here, and it looks cool, I think. And then I have all these rows of all these different flowers, and the idea was I can put every like flower bush type all next to each other, and then that way I can come in with some bone meal and whatever flowers I need for any other landscaping projects. I know where to get them. So that's kind of the idea with this, and it's kind of nice having this little like pattern. And then I don't ever use these berries, but I wanted it to fill out another row, and I didn't. There's only 3 flower bushes, so I put berries there. And this is another little azalea garden kind of situation where it's just this like crescent shape road that goes through, and we got a little bench I made with campfire logs that I put out, and yeah, it just looks kind of nice and mossy. I really love the moss. Not only the moss blocks and moss like carpet, but the functionality of moss, how you can grow and it like overtakes the ground and looks really nice and like lush. I just think it's really satisfying. And I threw in some lily pads and some little like water features in here. I think it looks pretty cool. There's like a little water trench back here because I didn't really know what to do about it, but I think I'll build this out. I think I'll make a bigger like pond once I expand the wall, because I think you can see the mega farm back there. I think I'm just gonna tear that out because I don't really need to trade with the villagers anymore. Sad as that is, I really don't have much use for them anymore. So don't have use for the crops either. So I think I'll build this out and make it a bigger like park kind of thing. Because I think my end goal for this world is to kind of make like a town. Because like, what else do you do but like build like buildings and like structures and like that kind of thing in Minecraft? So it's like, I guess it'll eventually be like a town, right? So that's kind of the idea. Yeah, take another sip. Okay. So, yeah, the house itself, I took inspiration from a couple of builds I found online. I just looked up like cottage, Minecraft cottage. Took some inspiration from those builds. There there was one build that had this sort of color palette and another build that had this sort of like building design, like the arch of the roof, for example. So I kind of just melded those styles together, and I think it looks pretty nice, pretty cozy. Maybe cozier if I used warmer tones. But I think this sort of modern color palette kind of makes this look a little more interesting and unique. And I kind of carried this color palette over to the castle build as well, and I think it'll come together quite nicely, or it already has come together quite nicely, I think. So yeah, we kind of saw in here. These are armor stands, but I have a texture pack that removes armor because I like my skin and I want to see my skin every once in a while. I guess when you go into the inventory, you can see yourself. But you can see I have some netherite armor on, and it's just invisible. So kind of makes my decoration armor not so decorative. But, you know, it is what it is. Here's the kitchen. I do my brewing here. I do my cooking here. This is a shulker box that looks like drawers, which is kind of cool. Little recipe book storage. Sink. I'll put fireplaces back here, so I actually have a smoking chimney. You can see the smoke coming out there. I think that's pretty cool. I like that they added campfires into this game. There's hay underneath the campfires, and that makes it extra smoky. I did it without the hay bales, and the smoke wasn't coming through, and then I put the hay bales under that because I knew that was a thing, and it started pouring out of that chimney. I was like, hell yeah, man. I did that. And then over here, this is like a little pantry cabinet design I came up with, just slabs on doors. Well, these are trapdoors. Then I got some barrels up here for my brewing ingredients and my potions. Yeah, it's the kitchen. This is the first buried treasure map that I found. Put it up here for some reason. I don't really know why. Why does it look like that also? But I haven't been to this. Oh yeah. So this is the first map I found, but I never got it. And I put it in this item frame because I was like, I need to go get this treasure. And I just never did it. I was like, oh yeah, that's that map. Every time I walk in my house, I'm just like, yep, that's a map. But I just haven't even gotten this buried treasure yet. Anyways, in here, got this nice little brown and pink carpet. I think that's a really nice color combination. And then we have this little nook over here where you can take a seat, sniff the allium. That's what this is called, right? I don't know. You can take a look at my little my writings of the day. This is where I write. It's kind of like a journal, you could say, but you know, it's a little more of like a creative writing exercise, I would say. And then I have this glowberry bush here, which vines, glowberry vines, which I'm using over here as my ladder, which I think is kind of a cute idea. Maybe a little slow, but that's why I've made this extra hole so I can just fall down into the hole, which is quite nice. If we go up into the bedroom, we can take a sleepy, but also check out the bedroom. Got this nice bush roof or ceiling, I guess. I put some lanterns in here. I could probably use glowstone at this point for that kind of stuff, but I only had lanterns at the time. But I think it kind of makes it a little more homey. And then yeah, I have this like elaborate like a wall design to try to make the bed look more extravagant because I couldn't really fit in a double bed here. It's kind of a narrow bedroom, but I did what I could. And then we have a wardrobe over here that I kind of made, which you can't see the armor once again with the resource pack. But I guess I can turn that off real quick. You can kind of see what I was going for. Where it's like your clothing storage kind of idea, you know? Okay, so yeah. And then the basement is pretty utilitarian. Utilitarian. Did I say that right? Still looks nice with all the different blocks. We got this accent wall here with the pink. But it's mostly storage or smelting furnaces. This is the Auto Smeltinator 9000, an original design where I have this redstone clock that you can toggle on and off. And then that hooks up to this dispenser. And then you have this hopper system where you can put in your ores or whatever. Yeah, it's a smelter, so, or a blast furnace, so it has to be ores. And then it puts the ores into the blast furnace. The blast furnace goes into the dispenser, and then the dispenser shoots it up into the water, and then the water goes, or the items go into the chest. So if I grab some ore, throw it in the furnace, so that you can hear the clock or the dispenser going off, and you can see the clock is pulsating rather fast. And then I put this repeater here to slow it down. Sorry, my throat is getting hoarse. Hang on, we gotta pause the ore. So the repeater slows it down so that the clicking noise doesn't happen as often. Basically, is really the only reason, and it probably helps with lag. I don't know if a clock like this really causes much lag, but it's just to make it a little less insane having that repeater there. And then so if we toggle this back on, we can see all the ore that we smelted come out. And yeah, I guess you didn't really see it all that well. Here, let's just go down to the dispenser and you can see how the little water tube works. I like the idea of having this glass floor where you can kind of see. It's not the most complex redstone machine, but I always like transparent tech, you know? And it's kind of like that. We can kind of see the inner workings of it. So let's turn this dispenser on. You can see it's shooting with the, I did the kelp trick to get the source blocks with the soul sand, and the soul sand creates the bubbles. The bubbles propel the items and they slide into the dispenser, or the hopper into the chest. Pretty simple. Kind of overkill. You don't get the XP that you would normally get just manually using a blast furnace. But I play with the game rule where you keep your inventory because I'm lame. So you can see I'm level 38. I'm not really strapped for XP, you could say. So I don't really care about that. I'd rather have this over-engineered contraption do my work for me. I think it's just kind of neater, more neat, cooler, sick, poggers. Yeah, I'm gonna take a drink. This video is gonna be way too long. I apologize. I'm having a good time. Hope you're having a good time. So to begin the storage tour, I keep my tools in this chest, my weapons and my armor in this chest. Very interesting, I know. I have a few shulkers. You can see I have an elytra, so I've definitely raided some end cities. So I have some shulkers, and these are kind of my working ones right now. And I just plop them on the floor when I'm not using them. Then I'll pick them up and take them with me when I need them. Kind of messy, kind of just throwing my stuff all over the floor like a pig, but it works out for me. I also have some in this chest. I was keeping them in this chest, but it kind of is just easier to put them on the floor like this. That way I can be like, okay, I need this one, or I need this one because it has the torches in it, you know? So I can just pick it up. It works. Okay. And then here's another over-engineered storage system, which literally has no use with this quick drop off mod, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, even called. Okay, I'm starting to, the White Claw is really activating right now, and I'm starting to stumble over my words, I think. Maybe I should take a little break from recording. I can pause the recording, come back. We can get back on track. I guess I'll keep explaining the system though before I pause. Yeah, if you look up item sorter, Hopper item sorter, you'll see this exact design. You got the repeaters, you got the layer of fucking redstone into comparators, I think they're called. And then you have your filter, so this allows only andesite to come through this hopper. Therefore, only andesite goes into that chest that I can't click on. Standard ordeal. Don't really need it at all. Because I can, you know, yeah, they're on the bottom chest, dummy. I can literally just boop, and I don't need this at all, but it's kind of cool. And then I have an overflow protection, so if I throw like some dirt in here, we'll see that dirt go into this overflow box eventually. There it goes, just like that. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to build this because I think it's a cool system. Back whenever I started playing this game, like on release, like 1.0 or whatever, and I didn't have an elaborate inventory management mod set up, I think that back then me would think this is really cool, and I also still think it's cool present day because it's neat that the solution to inventory management is like in the game itself with end-game systems, even though I kind of cheated by having mods for it that make it a lot more optimized, so I don't have a huge gigantic room of this system to store every item. A little bit impractical. Kind of wish there was a better system in game, but you know, it's cool, so I have it. And I did build this before I had this mod, so there was some practicality to it at some point in this playthrough, but not really anymore. Yeah, this is just every other item. I'm not going to go through all the categories. I've spent enough time rambling on. And then I have all my utility blocks, you can call them here: anvil, loom, smithing table, grindstone, or this is not a grindstone, it's a stone cutter. I just realized I don't have a grindstone. Do I have like enchanted stuff? I definitely do. That's actually a good bow. I don't have that much enchanted stuff that I want to part with, so I guess I just don't need a grindstone. But yeah, I have all my enchanted books that I don't have a use for right here. Oh, there's a mending book in here. So yeah, that's the house. We can, maybe I should take a break like I said. I'm kind of calmed down now though. All that's really left to show is the mega farm and the castle. Maybe I should just finish. Oh, here's another redundant system. So I have composters here, and I can throw my seeds into this chest, where honestly I could have just put 2 hoppers here and then thrown all my seeds. I've never needed more storage than 2 hoppers worth, or 1 hopper worth for that matter. But you know, I like to over-engineer things, so I have this like chest that distributes, and it doesn't really work. I thought it would evenly distribute if I put stuff in this chest. It would like put them in both, but it only puts it in the first one, so it's completely redundant. But I haven't fixed it or made it less complicated. But it does work. It makes bone meal, so Can't really complain too much. And then this is a mega farm. It's just this rectangle of farm of crops. That's really all it is. And there's also this cow. I forgot about the cows. I have a bunch of cows back here. They're just hanging out. Okay, so the castle's not done. I need to do landscaping. I need to do the interior, but it's close. I would say the structure of it is like 90% done or more. I just got to figure out how I'm going to do the back of it. Where am I going? Okay. Where am I? Okay. So yeah, let's check it out. So my major inspiration is a real life castle in Germany that was built in the 1800s, I believe. I forget what it's called. It starts with an L though. And I've taken some other creative liberties. I definitely put my own style into it. I took some inspiration from like Black Desert, with the Kama Sylvia region. Grana is the city. It's like the Elven city, I think. And I kind of based this like sort of arch design off of that style. It's a very curvy, white sort of style. And I'm gonna continue this motif, I think, throughout the build. And I'm gonna have this whole like lower area. It was just this like stone penis, and then I built all this grass out, and I'm gonna put a little like a little nook here. Probably use like moss and make some bushes and stuff like that, and make a nice little garden down here. And I think I will continue this sort of archy pathway sort of thing throughout. I'm just going to build into the environment a little bit, I think. And then, yeah, we have this front tower here on the sort of the front of the build. And I'm quite pleased with how this tower turned out, with the shape of the like cone. I think it looks okay. And then the back tower is a little bit taller and a little bit thicker, and didn't really account for the fact that I could not just make a single pillar of wall. That's a deep slate cobble wall that I use for the tip of this tower, and it's a 2x2 tower of wall on the other tower, and it looks a little stupid. Kind of pissed off. I didn't really think about how that would shape out with the dimensions of the tower. I don't really know what to do about it. I tried building like a flag out of wool. You can see I have a banner on top of this one, but the banners didn't look good either. Couldn't figure out how to build a flag with wool. So I don't really know what to do about it. Just kind of left it as is. I think it looks fine. It does not look great. Kind of disappointed, but I think the rest of the build's coming along pretty well. I have these like little turrets. I guess you could call little like mini towers. I don't know the terminology, I guess, but kind of adds some more detail to the fronts. And then I have this little canopy, like porch overhang. I don't know. Still don't know the terminologies, I guess. And then I think on this side it'll be like gardens primarily. I love building gardens in this game with this texture pack especially. I think all the flowers and everything will look really nice. I like building little pathways, and I think I'll just build an elaborate sort of garden on the side of the castle. And I think that'll look pretty. The inside is completely hollow right now, but I do have this nice little like open concept window design over here that I like a lot. And this is the other side of the arched walkway, we'll call it. It's just a balcony, really. But I had this sort of random leaf pattern as a roof that I think looks pretty cool. Just looks a bit more natural than if I were to put a slab of leaves over here, I think. I think it looks okay. And then I need to sort of fix this. I changed how the tower was built. I kind of moved it in a little bit. And I need to fix the wall and the path here. But, yeah. And the tower is, I don't even have flooring down in here. But I think I'll just do like a spiral staircase up or something. I don't really know what to put into this. It's such a small tower. I guess I could just put different floors into it. Maybe have one that's like an enchanting area or something like that. Another one that's like for potion brewing. And I think this will be the throne room. So I'm just make a nice little throne. You know how it is. And I might do like a long table in front of the throne, sort of like a Jarl's like longhouse in Skyrim. Or think what's the castle in Winterhold? Or is it Windhelm? Stormcloak, Ulfric Stormcloak's castle. He has like a big table in front of his throne. I think I'll do something like that. This is the bigger tower. And I think I'll try to make some sort of staircase that goes up. And I will have like living quarters up here. And then I don't know what... Oh, I did have like a sort of floor plan built on the second story in here. Where I have these like sort of rooms. I guess I'll make these like guest bedrooms or sort of like... I think this will go into the tower. Or maybe that's the next floor. I think the next floor goes into the... I don't know. I'm going to try to figure out how to plan all this out, lay all this out. Make it seem sort of natural and like practical. But I haven't really gotten that far yet. But I think the structure of everything looks really nice. I love this little... I came up with this like sort of like hole design, sort of like punch out design on the side of this part that I think looks pretty nice. And then I built this sort of, it kind of makes it look like a church tower or something, but I need this little tower back here that just kind of adds a little bit more depth to the build, I think. And yeah, I think it's kind of cool. And then you can see the big tower here. You can kind of see what I mean. Oh, I'm yawning. You can kind of see what I mean with the wall that I use on the top of this tower here. Is just looks a bit off at a distance. I don't really know how to fix it, but that's where it's at. That's really driving me crazy though. If you have any suggestions as to how to fix that, let me know. But yeah, I think I'll stop here. I think that pretty much covers everything. Some other little there's some other little secrets in the world. There's a whole cave system underneath my house. There's some interesting terrain around here. There's some badlands over here. There's a bunch of mushroom biomes around this sort of, there's like a big body of water here. It's a pretty cool world. But that is primarily what I've accomplished in the last couple months or so on this world. Hopefully you found it interesting in some way, entertaining in some way. I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching. And I might make some follow-up videos, keeping you posted. Until next time.